Corey had asked some of the choir members to suggest hymns, and then he selected, but actually it was the Holy Spirit that directed him to choose these hymns, because the three of us talk about the common thread of our mothers. And the song that Gail chose was Gary's special song with his mother, so very meaningful. Excuse me, we've been doing a lot of singing. The hymn, Precious Lord, Take My Hand, was written by Thomas A. Dorsey, not Tommy Dorsey, the big band leader. Thomas Dorsey was born in 1899, the son of an itinerant Baptist preacher and a piano teacher. He was drawn to the blues during his childhood in the South and was performing by age 12. After moving north as a teenager, Dorsey studied at the Chicago College of Composition and Arranging, then started playing in nightclubs and brothels. In the 1920s, he and his Wildcats jazz band accompanied Ma Rainey. Following a period of illness, Dorsey found himself in the arms of a merciful God at the Pilgrim Baptist Church in Chicago. Week after week, Dorsey's faith deepened. In the summer of 1932, he kissed his pregnant wife, Nettie, goodbye and headed to St. Louis, where he was to be the featured soloist at a revival meeting. The next day, after the enthusiastic crowd finally let him sit down, a messenger handed him a telegram that read, "Your wife just died." She died giving birth to their son, who died within the day. As he buried his family, Dorsey felt like he too was dead and buried. He withdrew in despair and grief. Angry at God, he didn't want to sing or write another note of gospel music. But a friend led him to a piano in a college classroom. As Dorsey sat on the piano bench, the words to an old hymn came to mind, "Must Jesus bear the cross alone?" Dorsey unclenched his fists, his fingers found the tune, and as he cried and played, his own anguished words took over the melody. "Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn." More words came. "Hear my cry, hear my call, hold my hand, lest I fall." In the depth of his despair, the words and music of this hymn came to him as if dictated by a great and compassionate force in the universe. Its composition healed him. Days later, it was sung by the choir at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, where Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. was pastor. In 1939, Dorsey and Mahalia Jackson ushered in what was known as the golden age of gospel music. Dorsey himself became known as the father of gospel music. In 1968, Mahalia Jackson sang "Precious Lord" at the funeral of Martin Luther King Jr. at his request. That's the official history of this gospel song, but I suggested it for us to sing today because it's the hymn that my mother asked to be sung at her memorial service. The words may seem to focus on a painful human existence, tired, weak, worn, but even in the dark storms of our lives, if we lean on him and trust him to lift us up, Jesus is there to lead us to the light. In John 16:33, Jesus tells us, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." The hymn also reminds us that our true home is waiting for us, away from the trials and pains of this earthly realm. When we come to the end of our days, Jesus doesn't just wait on the other side. He takes our hands and gently leads us home. This was a comforting hymn for my mother, and it is for me as well.